Story 3, My Outlaw King. Chapter 1. Princess Xena is enjoying a nice picnic with her friends in her private garden inside the palace walls. They are talking about the rumor of Xena's father, King Godwin of the North, looking for a suitable groom for his only daughter.
So, Princess, we hear King Godwin is finding you a husband.
Rose! It's not official, just a rumor.
Then why are you blushing?
It's the sunlight, dear Venus. It makes my face hot.
The girls laugh and enjoy teasing the princess.
Still, let's imagine, just for fun, that the rumor is true. You know who I think would be his choice? Probably Lord Philip. He rules over the largest village in the kingdom, which means he's the wealthiest man after your father, and can summon a big army compared to other lords and knights.
Yes, also he's handsome.
I hear he loves wine, and a man of his wealth and appearance might be a womanizer.
A rich man loving wine and women is the most obvious thing, my dear. Even the poor and destitute crave those very sins.
I agree with Rose. Any man in power would indulge in every pleasure that people often point their fingers at. It doesn't make him bad.
But who else could he be competing with?
Maybe Lord Frank?
He's not very wealthy, but people love him.
They say he's wise and kind.
Those are good traits in a man, but kindness doesn't protect us during battle.
Xena was silent and quietly listening to her friends discussing her potential future husband. She found that they knew more about the outside world than she did. She chose to spend most of her time with her friends or in gardens playing with her many dogs and cats. She was young and didn't have much idea about her duties that would fall on her as a wife. Her father was too busy taking care of the kingdom and its affairs. Any time she wanted to join him and his men in discussion rooms, she felt awkward, shy, and silly. Realizing how little she understood regarding the matters of the world, her heart felt heavy, and tears dropped from her delicate eyes.
Oh, Xena, why are you crying?
We are sorry if we teased you too much. Rest assured, we had no intention of hurting your tender spirit.
Xena shook her head in response and wiped her tears. Her friends looked at each other, and their hands fled to their chests. They felt terrible to see their angel-like friend distressed.
I'm just sad that I have not cultivated any qualities that befit a wife, let alone running a kingdom. Father always smiles and asks me to have fun and never worry about anything. Whatever I ask is done, but how it is done, that secret is never revealed to me. And now I sit here clueless about what I should be doing to better myself.
Oh, darling, do not fret like this. We are here to help you.
Indeed, and whatever you wish to learn, you can always ask your teacher, Mrs. Freya.
Freya is happy to be free from her duties more than anything. When I resisted her strict teachings as a child, which is the very nature of a child, she immediately gave up and let me do whatever I wanted. She taught me to read, write, and pray, but never insisted on my learning anything else. She would enter my room, ask me if I was ready to learn this or that while I was immersed in a book. I would always tell her that I'll learn tomorrow, but tomorrow never came, and now look at me. I haven't learned a thing.
It's not your fault, sweetheart. Women like Freya believe that women aren't meant for much.
Yes, she is a nun, and she believes that learning more would spike your curiosity and cause women to seek more in life, which might ultimately cause you to sin.
So what should I do? Mother could have taught me everything I wanted to learn, but she died before I had the chance to learn anything from her.
Xena started crying once again, unhappy that her mother's early demise and a narrow teacher had stunted her personal growth and self-development. Rose and Venus look at each other for help.
Hey, I got an idea. We will start with the basics. Let's visit the nearest small village and ask the villagers how they are doing. Xena will hear their pleas and get an insight into the situation of the kingdom.
Xena looks at Venus for an affirmation.
Feels like an adventure. It might be exciting.
A smile appears on Xena's face, and her eyes shine bright again with their usual angel-like sparkle.
That's exciting. I can't believe we never thought of this before. But would Father allow?
Of course he will. He's never denied you anything. Put this case in front of him, as if you wish to learn and assist him in running the kingdom.
I think he might be proud of you when he hears you.
You guys prepare then. We leave tomorrow.
Xena immediately gets up, and without wasting further time rushes to see her father, the king, and her friends. Bodyguards and maids follow her to the palace. Chapter 2. Xena returned from her father's office chamber with an excited air. Her requests were scarcely ever refused by the king.
Father has agreed, but Mrs. Freya would have to accompany us.
Oh, love, she would dampen our spirits every chance she gets.
I assure you that we will not let it happen because she will be riding in her separate chariot in her own solitude, which is so dear to her that she will be more than happy to oblige.
Rose, you heard our majesty. It is settled, and now we should pack our belongings and make haste towards the village.
The village called Campcorn was a day's travel from the kingdom. The king wouldn't let his daughter travel far for fear of any tragedy. He sent an entire platoon for Xena's protection that would accompany her at all times. Xena looked awed by the fields she had seen years ago with her mother. The fields stretched as far as the eyes could see, occasionally broken by small and large patches of the wilderness. The sun was bright, and each moment was captured deeply by Xena. This change gave rise to new sensations and imaginations, as could be expected of a princess who had been protected by the walls of her castle for the majority of her life.
I'm so glad you suggested this idea to me, dear Rose.
Venus and I couldn't see you in the terrible mood you were in yesterday.
Indeed, you looked painfully sad. I never saw you cry like that.
Let's not talk about it. Tell me, how many times have you been to a village like this? What should I expect, and how should I act? I fear I know nothing.
The best thing about being a princess is that you don't need to know much. Your maids and guards will see to all of your arrangements.
I agree. So for today, I believe you should simply observe and take a good account of things that you see. So next time when you visit, you could tell what arrangements need to be made, and that would be more proper.
She's correct, darling. You don't want to be embarrassed by speaking from assumptions because people might scoff or sneer behind you if they are offended.
Villagers might not show it to your face, but they can be horribly rude behind your back.
Since this is your first appearance in this village, let's try to make you look good.
Oh dear, now I'm even more worried and nervous than ever. I want the people to like me and know that I care about them.
First thing, use silence and gaze as your only weapons.
And sweetheart, you will find enough beggars and poor people in need of charity. But you must not give recklessly because it might cause a big fight, or something more dangerous.
So, what should I do when a beggar comes to me?
Command one of your maids to arrange a meal for that person and ask the treasurer's assistant who is traveling with us to pay that man enough to cover a few meals.
Thank you so much, you two. Anything else?
I think it's best you leave the rest to fate.
Okay, I will.
Xena makes a silent prayer and asks God to guide her. They arrived at Campcorn, and as they came close to the inn at the border of the small village, they noticed a young man getting off his horse. All the three girls inside the chariot gazed at him with wonder. He was a lean and handsome man with long, wavy hair and a beard that made him appear older. His clothes reflected that he had traveled a long distance. Xena's heart skipped a beat when she saw him look at her through the glass. She looked away and sat straight immediately, while Rose and Venus, her friends, continued to gaze at the man a little longer.
He looks so much like the great Southern King Edward.
He does indeed. That's spooky.
He's looking right at us. Stop staring back.
Why, aren't you a shy and sweet angel?
He was a handsome man, though, wasn't he?
Rose met Xena's eyes, and Xena couldn't suppress her smile. They all burst into laughter again. Chapter 3. Xena looked outside, and she saw people lined up next to the road watching the chariots and the line of soldiers guarding them. Every villager who could and couldn't spare time was dressed in their best clothes. Children ran along the chariot and climbed on top of each other to get a good look inside and claim to have seen the princess first.
Why do we have to stay in a monastery?
Because a royal woman's dignity and safety are of utmost importance. If we were staying at a place with unknown men, then she would be open to many threats.
Such as?
They might try to make her fall in love, or kidnap her for ransom, or worse, commit violent acts of an animalistic nature.
I have a small army to protect me. The best guards surround me at all times, and perhaps you forgot, but I'm quite good with a sword.
That's what many girls believed before something horrible happened to them.
You read too many terrible books, Rose.
How else do you expect me to pass my leisurely days?
But what am I supposed to do? I can't be caged like this forever.
I'm afraid Rose is right, love. What you find to be a cage is the dream of every girl in the world, young and old.
You simply have to be careful with your surroundings.
The local monastery had made what little preparations it could with the extra budget that was sent to them through a messenger last evening. The young nuns had worked all morning tirelessly under the elder nun's strict commands. Zena, along with her friends and teacher Freya, met with the head of the monastery, called Sister Woodlock. She was a strong and old woman with a face that was hardened from a lifetime of work. She stood straight like a knight, and her eyes seemed to dislike Freya immediately.
Your Highness, it's a pleasure to see you in person. The entire village is excited to get a glimpse of you. I hope you ladies will have a fine stay in our humble monastery. I've made the best arrangements from our end. Let me know if you need anything.
Thank you, sister.
Zena was taken to her temporary room, which she assumed probably belonged to Sister Woodlock. There was a neat bed, a rug, some candles, towels, and an old holy book resting on the table. Zena felt the air was too cold, so she changed her clothes and had some food to restore her energy. The only charming thing was the window that opened to the big garden at the back of the monastery. Zena left to walk in that garden with her friends and met many of the young girls on the way. She was delighted to see the girls' bright and smiling faces. They looked back at her with awe.
You are doing very well, darling.
Thank you. I feel so alive with this change. I'm not lying when I say that I was sick of all the faces in the court and the palace. This place is like a breath of fresh air.
Zena is fascinated by the life of the young girls there and suddenly respects them for how they live with little resources. She asks a few of them to join her for a picnic in the park, but they all politely refuse because they have work to attend to that was ordered by Sister Woodlock.
I feel so bad that they must work and can't join me for even an hour. I thought they would listen to what the princess had to say.
Trust me, they all want to have that picnic with you, but if they do, then Sister Woodlock is going to give them hell.
Why would she do that?
Because if you report back that the girls were spending time with you, then it reflects badly on Sister Woodlock.
I still don't understand how...
I'll explain. The king pays for the church, and if the girls are with you, then it means that they aren't attending their classes. So, Woodlock is afraid that it would make her look bad and undisciplined in the eyes of your father.
And if your father feels that the girls here are just wasting time, then he would reduce the charity that comes to this monastery.
This is unbelievable.
Get used to it.
I realize you two know far more about politics and the system than I imagined.
That's because we can go out and see the real stuff, but when you do, everyone pretends to be busy and their sweetest selves.
I'm starting to hate my life now.
That's only because you don't know how life is on the other side, and believe us, it is not pleasant at all.
Yeah, you've heard the story of our maids. Such scandals in history.
Right, remember that. You don't want it, trust us.
Fine.
Zena eats in the hall and gets a chance to interact closely with the girls there.
Sister Woodlock, may I request something of you?
Of course, Your Highness.
I wish to spend time with the girls and take them for a picnic now.
Your Highness, I'm afraid they won't be free until supper, and then they shall have an hour to spare.
She isn't requesting, sister.
Sister Woodlock looks at Zena, who is waiting for an answer.
Sure, Your Highness. I'll cancel the arrangements for the day so you may spend whatever time you want with the girls.
That's splendid. Thank you, sister.
Sister Woodlock leaves the table and addresses the next in command to convey the message to all the girls. The girls erupt in joy when they hear they will be spending time with the princess. Mrs. Freya, Zena's teacher, decides to stay behind and rest, while Zena, her two friends, and the girls from the monastery leave for a picnic around the lake. The lake lies behind the monastery. The entire group walked for an hour, and when they got to the top of the hill, the lake opened with a breathtaking view, and they all rushed to dip their toes in the water. Zena is the happiest she's been in a while.
Your Highness, please do not run away too far. It can be difficult to catch up with our gear.
Smith, I want to run, and if you and the guards can't keep up with us girls, then perhaps that is something my father should know immediately.
Xena snaps at her chief guard because his words kept dampening her spirits. A sudden urge rises within her, the desire to rebel, and so Xena takes off into the forest. She starts running faster when she hears the soldiers' footsteps getting closer. She looks back and watches a few guards close the distance with horses, but it's evening, so it's easier to disappear. Xena hides and can't contain her joy as they take off in another direction. She feels a relief in punishing them for a moment, but her joy is short-lived when she sees a wild boar a few feet away staring at her. Xena steps back, but it's too late. The wild boar charges towards her and she screams. A screeching, painful sound escapes the boar before it hits the ground. Xena opens her eyes and finds an arrow inside the boar's stomach. Her eyes trace the direction of the arrow, and she meets a familiar face. It was the handsome young man with long, wavy hair and beard that she and her friends had seen when they were entering the village.
Are you all right?
Chapter 4.
Are you all right?
Xena is speechless. She takes a moment to recover from the shock.
Yes, I'm fine, thank you.
Aren't you one of those girls who were staring at me from the chariot earlier today?
Xena's face turns red.
Sir, that's a very inappropriate thing to say to a woman, and you should be very careful with what you assume next.
My apologies for the assumption. My name is Arthur.
I'm Xena.
As in the princess?
Yes.
Arthur sighs with amusement.
What brings you here into the forest? And where are your guards?
Just when Arthur finished his sentence, the guards came rushing and surrounded them.
Princess, are you safe? We heard your scream and ran towards it.
Yes, I'm fine. This man here saved me from the boar.
Xena's guard, Smith, looks Arthur up and down. Meanwhile, Rose, Venus, and other girls from the monastery arrive as well.
That's a good shot. Are you some mercenary? Something like that? What brings you here? That's personal.
Smith takes out his sword and points it aggressively at Arthur.
I have the duty to kill every threat to the princess. Seems like you weren't doing your job.
Smith presses the sword against Arthur's skin.
Apologize right now, or I'll arrest you and throw you into a cell where rats will eat you alive.
Arthur stays where he is and stares into his eyes without saying a word. Xena gets worried as things escalate.
Smith, back off right now or I'll kill you myself. This man saved me, and I'll make sure he isn't harmed because you couldn't keep up.
Smith looks at a furious-looking Xena and lowers his sword. He steps back and asks Xena to return to the monastery because it was getting dark and dangerous in the woods. Xena agrees, but before leaving, she takes a step towards Arthur and grabs his hand in hers. Arthur's heartbeat started to race at her touch. They stare into each other's eyes for a moment.
Thank you once again, Mr. Arthur, for saving me.
Arthur doesn't say a word. He keeps staring into her eyes. Smith returns, breaking the spell, and hands Arthur a pouch filled with coins.
Thank you for your service.
Arthur pockets the coins, ignores Smith, and looks at Xena.
Be careful next time, Princess.
He goes on his way in the opposite direction, but unknown to him, Xena kept looking back several times until she couldn't trace him anymore. Chapter 5. Princess Xena is back in her palace and having breakfast with her father, King Godwin. She is excited to share everything about her trip and plan the next one, which she hopes will be longer.
Father, I learned so much. I feel more confident with this recent trip. I'm hoping you will send me to another one soon.
What would you like to learn?
I want to learn everything about running a country like you, so I can become a good queen. Mrs. Freya is limited in her knowledge. I want to be around you more. Join you at tables and watch your discussion with other powerful men.
Xena, you remind me of your mother. She was smart and understood the politics better than I did. But even she wouldn't enter my chambers when I'm having talks with other men. It's no place for a woman.
Xena's eyes lose their shine and her shoulders drop on hearing this.
I don't want to offend you, but military planning, expansion, talking to drunk or hardened men who have killed hundreds of enemies is a nasty business. Men coveting power and wealth are always thinking of some scheme and suggesting their cunning advice. Lies and deceit will break your kind spirit, I'm afraid.
Then let my spirit break, Father. How else am I supposed to learn and become wise in this world?
Plenty of women have found ways to do that and accomplish their goals. I'm afraid you'll have to figure this out on your own.
King Godwin ends the discussion and changes the topic.
By the way, I've invited some powerful men from the country to introduce themselves to you.
Why?
I want you to choose a husband for yourself.
Xena is shocked. Even though she's been expecting this, she finds it hard to accept the reality of the situation.
But I'm not ready, Father.
King Godwin laughs.
You are of age, and you are as ready as one can be.
How would I help my husband manage anything when I don't know anything?
Some men prefer that.
Well, I do not.
You are worrying too much. I can arrange a few men to teach you the ABCs of most things.
Father, you won't be here forever to protect me.
And that's why I'm telling you that you will be getting married soon. Then you can do as you like.
But, Father...
Enough. It's an order.
Xena leaves the table and rushes out of the room with tears. Soon, dozens of men around the kingdom from rich provinces and noble families introduced themselves to Xena with many gifts in the presence of her father, the king, and all the other important people in the court. Many people recognized each other, and the court turned lively with chatting and glasses clinking. Music was played, and a dance was performed where each man had a moment to impress and speak with the princess Xena. Xena was in her room, sulking, unlike her friends, who were discussing the most handsome, richest, and noblest bachelors. Some of them had even changed their minds mid-dance and flirted with Rose and Venus instead.
You don't seem happy, darling. What is it?
It's nothing.
It is not nothing if you are looking like that.
I told my father that I wasn't ready for marriage.
Why makes you think that?
When we went on that trip, I realized how little I knew of the world and running a country.
Are you still thinking about that, dear?
I cannot shake that feeling away. I'm terrified that I'll be a horrible wife and make my husband very unhappy.
I don't think that's what this is about.
What is it about, then?
It's about that handsome young man who saved her in the forest from the boar. He stole your heart, did he not?
Xena's face is flushed immediately.
Absolutely not. I haven't even thought of him once.
Really? Because you couldn't stop talking about him that night or the next or on the way back.
Is Venus right, sweetheart? If you were given the choice to marry him, would you refuse?
He's a mercenary. He kills for coin. Father would never approve of him.
That doesn't answer my question.
Xena's face turns a bright red color, and her friends laugh and tease her more. Xena chases them outside her room and across the long corridor playfully when a loud bang rocks the building and they fall to their knees. They look up at each other with great worry.
What was that?
Another loud bang rocks the building once more, and the soldiers pass through the ladies running fast. They hear screams outside.
I think we're being attacked.
Xena's guard, Smith, immediately finds her and asks her to return to her room with her friends.
What's happening, Smith?
Lord Kenneth has attacked us. His army is trying to get through the castle gate.
Do you think we will win?
It's sudden, I'm not sure. Some enemies are already inside. We might have to run.
Xena, Rose, and Venus follow Smith as he tries to get the princess safely to her room. They find some enemy soldiers on the way, but Smith slays them all. Before they can reach the room, a large number of enemies stand in their way.
Run back to where we came from, find a room, and lock yourselves inside until this is over. Someone will come and find you. Until then, I'll hold them back.
Thank you, Smith. You are the bravest man I've known.
Smith fights the large group single-handedly and buys some time while Xena and her friends run. Venus falls, and the other two try to pick her up.
Damn it. I've sprained my ankle. I can't run. You two go on without me. Save yourselves.
I'm not leaving you alone. Get up.
Xena, I can't. You two need to run now.
Xena and Rose look at each other for an answer.
I'll stay with Venus. Xena, you run and save yourself. They are a bigger threat to you than to us. We'll be fine. Just find a place and hide.
Xena is reluctant, and her heart feels heavy. She finds a room, forgets to lock it in a hurry, and hides under the bed. She watches a pair of enemy boots pause near the door. The man slowly enters the room but forgets to close the door. Zena's heart races as she thinks about running towards the opening. She wonders if the man will leave, but she watches his feet come near. She holds her breath and covers her mouth. She prays for a miracle, but fate had other plans. The man looks under the bed and drags Zena out of it. She throws her fists in the air and hits his face, but they have no effect on him. Next, she tries running away, but the man grabs her hair and throws her on the floor. He then gets on top of her and holds her down. Aware of what's about to happen, Zena screams with horror. He slaps her and asks her to shut up. Zena's mouth bleeds from the corner, and she begs him with tears to get off her, but he is deaf to her pleas. She fights and screams more when all of a sudden the man stops moving. She looks down and sees a dagger covered in blood, exiting through his stomach. The man's killer grabs the body and pushes it off her. Zena looks up and sees Arthur, who is dressed in enemy clothing.
You are attacking my kingdom!
I was, until I decided to save you, princess. Again.
Take me to my father.
I'm sorry, but he's been captured.
Zena feels the last bit of air knocked out of her stomach. Her legs tremble.
And my friends?
Right now, you only need to think about yourself. Come on, I have a plan.
Why should I trust you? You are with the enemy.
Because you don't have a choice at this moment. So listen to me and do as I say.
Arthur takes off the dead man's clothes and gives them to Zena. She hesitates before accepting them. She has to change in front of Arthur, but the shame only lasts a moment, driven away by more important priorities. Next, he finds a helmet and asks her to wear it. They wait for a few moments and walk out of the room slowly.
Take big steps. People can tell if it's a man or a woman by the walk alone. And don't speak anything. I'll do the talking.
Zena nods her head.
Good. We need to leave the castle, find a horse, and get as far away as we can.
Why are you helping me?
I don't know, but I would prefer to think of a reason while you are still alive. So let's go.
Chapter 6. Arthur wakes up before sunrise and bathes under the nearby waterfall to clean himself of the sweat, blood, and grime from yesterday. He returns and watches Zena sleeping in the cave where they had spent the night, hiding from Lord Kenneth's soldiers who were looking out for her.
Hey, princess. Wake up. It's well past sunrise.
Zena continues sleeping.
Hey, princess. We need to move.
Still no sign of waking up from Zena, so Arthur, a man of action and short temper, taps her butt with his foot. Zena wakes up with a shock, looks at his feet, and realization sets in.
Is that any way to treat a respectable woman? I'm a princess. No one has ever dared to touch me like that.
Arthur continues to stare at her with an unreadable face.
You are making us late.
For where?
To wherever you are safe. A relative or a friend.
I left my friends inside the castle. Are they alive? Can you get them here for me? Please.
I don't think they are alive. And if they are, I cannot go inside and get them out.
Why not? You did that for me. I can pay you.
It's not about the money. I betrayed them when I got you out. They will arrest me as soon as they see me.
Well then, why did you help me escape?
Arthur stares into a dark corner of the cave, his eyes tensed.
I don't know. I've been thinking of a reason, but I can't find one. It was instinct. I can't explain it.
Have you killed people before?
Yes.
How many?
I don't keep count.
Hundreds?
Probably.
How do I know you won't just hand me over to someone for money?
I don't know. But last time I checked, you don't have another choice, do you?
Zena is quiet.
I'll bring the horse. Until then, freshen up. There's a lake in that direction with a waterfall.
Zena silently walks in the direction that Arthur is pointing. She splashes some water on her face, cleans her hands and feet, and rinses her mouth. She sits thoughtfully until she hears the rustling of the bush and a rabbit pops out.
God, you scared me.
She watched the rabbit get close to her and retrace its steps. Zena gets teary-eyed when she begins to think about her father, her friends, and her entire kingdom, all lost. She carries no money, only her name now. She thinks about her next steps, but nothing comes to mind, so she starts crying helplessly.
Hey, cheer up, princess. At least you are alive.
That doesn't comfort me.
You would have been dead, in prison or worse off. Trust me, this is better.
Maybe Kenneth would have married me and released my father.
The mind plays tricks in situations like these. Don't believe everything you imagine.
Why? You think my father is dead?
Dead or imprisoned.
If you can get him out, he will make you a very wealthy man, and I'll make sure it happens.
That's an impossible mission. Way out of my league.
Why?
Do you see any army with me? Listen, I'm done talking. We need to leave right now.
Before Xena gets on the horse, an arrow hits it in the stomach and strikes it dead. A dozen men, dressed the same as Arthur, appear out of the bushes.
Arthur, my captain, it seems to me like you changed sides. Give us the girl, you traitor.
We are mercenaries, Bale. When are we ever loyal?
Chapter 7.
We fought the battle, Arthur, while you took away the biggest prize.
I cannot let you hurt her, Bale. Let us go. I'll consider us even for all the times I saved your life.
We are mercenaries, Arthur. You can't expect me to show fairness.
What will Kenneth do with her?
He will marry her after killing his current wife, and personally, I don't blame him.
Is my father alive?
So the woman talks. He's alive, at least, until we bring you to Kenneth.
If you let us go, I'll find help and get my father out. And when he kills Kenneth and takes the kingdom back, he will make you and your men very rich. You have my word.
That's a gamble I'm not willing to take. And I doubt my men can wait that long to get paid, Princess.
If you take me away, I'll tell Kenneth that you touched me. He might kill you for that.
My men won't let anything happen to me.
You mean my men?
They aren't your men anymore, Arthur, and I'll now give you proof.
The men move forward, but Arthur is worth 100 soldiers alone. Sweat and fear both cover their face. Bale shouts his order, and they move closer with trembling feet. Arthur slices 3 of them easily with his sword. The men take a step back.
Guys, don't do this.
Give us the girl, Arthur, and we'll leave. No blood will be shed.
I cannot do that.
Then you leave us no choice.
Then you leave me no choice either.
A fierce battle ensues while Xena takes cover behind the dead horse. Some men grab her legs and try to drag her away, but knives come flying and kill them instantly. Xena shuts her eyes and covers her ears with her hands to stop hearing the screams of dying men. Sometime later, there's a silence, and she slowly takes her hands off her ears and looks up. Arthur is standing with his sword out, covered in blood from head to toe, while the ground around them is covered with dead, scarred soldiers and abandoned weapons. Chapter 8. Arthur and Xena took 2 of the horses from the soldiers who had attacked them in the forest. They were traveling towards a small town called Stoneshire. The lord of the town was Xena's uncle and King Godwin's brother, Roderick.
Thanks for saving me again.
You are welcome.
I don't have the money to give you this time.
That's fine.
Are you married?
I'm not.
Sorry that I've gotten you into trouble.
It isn't you. It was my decision. I could have handed you over to Kenneth, but that life would have been worse than death for you.
Did you save me because I'm a princess, or would you have saved anyone in the state I was?
Arthur turned his head to look at her, as if searching for words.
Maybe because we met before. You were someone I knew, not a stranger.
So, you've never killed someone you knew?
I have, but it was usually when they betrayed me or committed some serious crime.
You killed 12 of your men for me. That must have been hard on your soul. I hope you won't hate me for it.
I was their leader. Those mercenaries belonged to me. I would give them orders, and they listened because they trusted me. I wish they had trusted me one more time. I saw how little loyalty meant to them. They were hungry for money.
I would argue that they were loyal to Kenneth, who paid them. They were doing their jobs as mercenaries.
The world isn't as black and white as you think it is. They should have trusted me more. We had history among each other, not with Kenneth.
Still, I want to say thank you. I can't say it enough for everything that you've done.
The sun set, and they found a hiding spot under a giant rock. It began to snow, and Arthur frowned.
This makes our journey difficult and more dangerous.
I'm too tired right now to worry about it.
Arthur offers Xena whatever she can use to keep herself warm and takes little for himself. They sit against the rock with some distance between them, but Xena drags herself closer to Arthur.
It's too cold, and you've got nothing to keep you warm.
She pushes the thin fabric over Arthur and leans her head on his shoulder, hoping that she can help him stay warm.
I'd be a terrible person if I let you die of a cold.
I'm sorry you had to see all that blood and bodies. It's not a good sight.
It was scary, but after what happened in the castle, it wasn't so difficult to deal with.
You sound different.
Different? Good or bad?
You don't sound like a kid like you did a few days back in the forest. You are acting your age now.
That's probably one of the only good things to come out of a tragedy.
That's one way to see it.
I was so protected all my life that I began to hate it. And now I'm yearning for the very thing I was trying to push away. If you hadn't saved me, I wouldn't have a second chance at life.
She turns her face up to look at his, and their eyes meet once again. They can feel each other's breath as their hearts beat faster and louder. Arthur cannot look away from her sweet, gentle eyes. How could God create someone like her, he wonders. His mind fights against the burning desire in his heart until, eventually, he kisses her lips gently. Xena closes her eyes and leans into the kiss. Her mouth delicately parts, and her lips press against his with a passion. All her nobility was forgotten. She didn't want to be treated like a princess. She was a woman, and it was perfect. Their hands pulled each other closer until they had to gasp for air. Xena felt his fingers touching her through her clothes between her legs. She moaned into his mouth. She had never felt this way before. The new sensations flooded her body, blinding every other thought. She felt his hard cock pressing against her stomach before he pulled it out and pushed it inside her. They were like animals, fucking, moaning, and gasping with each thrust. Arthur could feel her getting close, so he kissed her and pushed hard. She screamed with pleasure as they both came. Arthur lay next to Xena and pulled her so she rested on top of him instead of the cold ground. Then he covered her with everything they had. Xena was asleep in seconds. Chapter 9.
Wake up, princess!
Arthur softly kicked her butt again to wake her up.
What the hell? You need to learn manners, Arthur. I'm not a street dog that you can kick like that.
Kicking you anywhere else feels actually offensive. This seemed like the most innocent of all the options.
You can gently shake my arm.
I'll try to remember that next time.
Don't worry, there won't be a next time.
Are you sure about that?
Xena throws him a warning with her eyes, and Arthur can't suppress his cocky smile.
You look adorable when angry.
She punches Arthur in the stomach, and he is surprised that she put some force into it. Arthur and Xena arrived in the small town of Stoneshire, which belonged to her uncle, Roderick. It had taken them 5 days and nights to get there as they traveled through the woods, avoiding the common road so Kenneth and his men wouldn't arrest them. The guards recognized her immediately and opened the town gate. Xena demanded to be taken to her uncle Roderick, the king. He was seated in a cold room that had seen better days. He wasn't a man known for his kindness, but he was the only family Xena had outside her kingdom. Roderick is intrigued by Arthur's presence. His eyes kept darting back to him while Xena explained everything that had happened.
My dear, I've got this letter from your enemy and the current ruler of the North, Kenneth. It states that if I were to find you, I should immediately inform him and hand you over in return for a large chunk of land, army, and money.
Xena looks at Arthur for a response. She feels like she walked into a trap. The guards look grave and ready to pounce on them the moment Roderick gives command.
If you believed Kenneth, then you would have done it already. Why wait for us to give an explanation?
Roderick smiles, recognizing that the strange young man was clever.
I don't think he would back away from the deal, because when enemies come to him, he would need friends. I have a small army, but every man counts.
but I have a feeling that you've got another plan in mind.
Roderick scratched his beard, thinking deeply.
What's your name? You've been addressing a king without formally introducing yourself.
My name is Arthur.
Only Arthur?
Yes.
And you are a mercenary?
I am.
Well, your name is indeed famous among fighting men.
Must be some other Arthur.
You match the description. And has anyone ever told you that your face is the exact likeness of King Edward the Great?
Arthur takes a pause to collect himself.
A coincidence.
I had a plan occur to me, but since my assumptions are clearly wrong, I think I'll take Kenneth's offer.
You shouldn't do that.
Is that a threat?
It could be.
Guards, seize them both.
At once, a dozen men pointed their arrows at them, and another dozen swordsmen encircled them. They grabbed Xena, and she started screaming. Arthur would have died fighting and killing many guards, but he could not tolerate any harm done to Xena. Within the depths of his heart, he didn't want to lose her. He had never stopped thinking about her since the first time they met.
All right.
Roderick raises his hand, and at once the men lower their arrows, release Xena, and take a step back. Xena runs towards Arthur and holds his hand. Roderick realized that they were in love, but he wondered if it was the kind of love that could change the world.
Now would be a good time to speak, kid.
King Edward was my grandfather.
Xena is shocked beyond her imagination, and Roderick smiles wider. His suspicion was right. Xena's eyes trace his face again, looking at those features that she had seen in the books and in the paintings in the halls of her castle. King Edward the Great ruled the entire southern continent. His kingdom had been the largest in the world, but he was betrayed by his own brother, Peter. The kingdom was attacked at night both from inside and outside the city. King Edward and his son, Arthur's father, Prince Richard, were killed that night. Richard's wife and Arthur's mother, Abigail, was clever enough to swap children and leave some hope for the future of their kingdom before being murdered. The myth that the grandson had survived was whispered for more than 2 decades. While some believed it was true, others believed it was a story conjured to give people a hope that King Edward's blood would once again take the throne and restore the South to its glory.
I knew it. You might have fooled the world, but you can't fool me, boy. You must possess a ring with the family crest or something to convince others. Do you have it?
Arthur takes out a ring that was hidden somewhere in his clothes and shows it to Roderick. Roderick examines it carefully and nods his head.
So, the stories were true. You survived. But how? Who was it that died in your place as a baby?
A servant's child who was swapped before the enemies arrived at the gate, and I was taken by the maids and some guards through a secret exit.
Why didn't everyone escape through the exit?
Because then the enemy wouldn't have stopped looking. He had to be convinced that there were no survivors who could lay claim to the throne.
Why haven't you laid a claim to the throne in all these years?
I don't have an army. I was raised among the few surviving soldiers who made it out alive that night. But soon they were scattered because Peter never stopped hunting them, fearing that the rumor was true.
But Peter's dead now.
And as you know well, his son, Timothy, rules as king, and he isn't going to be my good cousin and offer me the throne if I just walk in.
I also know that Timothy is a drunk who can barely stand on his feet. He is despised by the entire kingdom.
I would appreciate if you could come to the conclusion now.
Tell me something. Are you happy as a mercenary? Are you never going to fight and claim what's rightfully yours?
I didn't live in a castle as a prince. I've always lived this life, and I don't have too many complaints about it.
Here's my only offer. I'll lend you my army if you can gather support from the other lords and knights in the south. This will weaken Timothy's defense. After you take back the south, you can attack Kenneth, and not as a mercenary, but a king with an army. If you defeat Kenneth, you will be the first one to rule the north and the south. If you refuse this offer, then, as you can guess already, I will hand Xena over to Kenneth.
Why are you helping me?
In return, I want 3 times the gold, land, and soldiers that Kenneth has offered me.
And if I fail to win the South, what would happen to Xena?
I'll hand her over to Kenneth. Either way, I win.
Arthur,
I was only trying to understand what would happen to you if things go bad. I'll fight the world for you, Xena. Roderick, I accept your offer. I'll take back the South and fight Kenneth.
Arthur was in love, and it was a declaration.
thank you, King Arthur.
Chapter 10. Arthur and Xena were speaking with Lord Batten, one of the most influential men around the southern kingdom. At his command, half of the South would fight against Timothy. Winning him was crucial for Arthur and Xena.
Asking me to fight against the king is not an ordinary request.
Forgive me for interrupting, but the actual king will be fighting on your side, Lord Batten.
But why should I? What makes you think you can win this war?
I'll be honest, I cannot win this war without you. But with you and your allies by my side, along with Roderick's army, we'll have a fair chance of winning.
We hear that King Timothy is barely taking responsibility for the kingdom. Don't you want a better leader who listens to the people?
Every man who desires to be king makes these promises. How do I know you are any better? Weren't you a mercenary until now, killing for coin? Why should I trust a man like that?
I'll give you whatever you want. Land, gold, anything.
What is it worth if I'm dead?
I'm not good with politics, Lord Batten. I've only learned to answer with action. So, gather your best men. You pick the number, and I'll fight them. If I win, you and your allies will fight for me.
Batten seemed intrigued while Xena trembled nervously. She had seen Arthur kill a dozen of his men, but this gamble felt more dangerous. Their entire fate rested on Arthur winning this.
Okay, I accept this. My men will fight you tomorrow morning. Take some rest while you still can.
Thank you.
Arthur goes outside and starts practicing for the fight, while Xena watches him from the window. She refuses to eat whatever is brought to her. The anxiety killed her appetite. Arthur arrived late at night, but Xena was waiting by the door holding a candle.
You didn't sleep.
I couldn't.
Did you eat anything?
No.
Would you like to join me?
Yes, I'd like that.
They had no one in the world but each other. They sat at the table and ate the cold food in silence for a while.
Why didn't you tell me back then that you were a king?
Would you have believed me?
I don't think so.
That's exactly why I didn't.
I still feel bad that you didn't confide in me.
You would have looked at me like I was crazy. So I don't regret keeping it from you.
Xena smiled for the first time that day. She enjoyed these honest banters with him. She talked a lot, and he would silently listen to her. She would feel his eyes wandering over her lips, and it made her blush every time. They moved towards the fireplace in the hall as the night grew cold. Arthur could tell that Xena was worried, so he took her hand and held it. When she fell asleep, he carried her to her room and went back to his own. Chapter 11. Arthur, Xena, Lord Batten, and his men were gathered around the fenced ground at sunrise. Lord Batten had gathered 20 men, but all 20 refused to fight Arthur together. They felt it was an insult to fight a single man and leave him with no chance of winning, so they chose 5 of their most seasoned warriors. The 5 opponents had faced many wars and lived. Each of them weighed almost twice as much as Arthur. Arthur realized that his only advantage would be speed against the brawny soldiers. He also had to make sure not to get hit at critical points. Arthur and the opponents geared up with shields, swords, and armor. Xena's fists were clenched in apprehension.
Fight well, Arthur.
Let the fight begin.
The 5 men charge at Arthur. He steps back, ducks, and strikes the first one with terrifying speed and force. The first one is knocked out immediately, and Xena's spirits rise.
Incredible!
I will accept he's fast, Your Highness, and possesses some skill. But the battle has just begun.
Arthur gets struck in the face and kicked in the guts. He rolls with pain, but his reflexes act at the last second, and he avoids a fatal blow.
They will kill him if they fight like this.
Every fight comes with a risk, Your Highness. Arthur was well aware of it before he made the suggestion.
Can't you stop it, if it comes to it?
Batten answers with silence. Arthur attacks, but the men are able to defend. Their technique seems to be at par with his own. A few minutes later, Arthur is able to strike and knock out another one.
2 down, 3 to go.
The men are able to read, adapt, and predict Arthur's moves. Arthur takes a big hit but gets back up immediately. He spits out the blood from his mouth. He moves fast and keeps a distance from the 3.
Clever boy. He's tiring them out. He knows they'll get slower if they run out of breath.
The men realize it and try to corner Arthur, but he's able to barely escape it. He lands another successful hit.
3 down, 2 more.
The remaining 2 opponents get angrier. They charge at Arthur together and surprisingly show great teamwork. Arthur starts sweating badly. Stopping their attacks takes a lot of strength out of him. As soon as he attacks, one defends and the other strikes. Xena's hands join in a prayer. Arthur takes another one out but suffers damage in the process.
1 more to go.
The last man throws his sword and shield into the ground. He then raises his bare fists at Arthur, and Arthur does the same in honor. They fight hand to hand, flesh and bones against each other. They grunt and scream in rage. Arthur takes punches, and so does his last opponent. Xena can't stomach it anymore, and her eyes turn away from the violence. They fight, covered in dirt, blood, and sweat. Arthur's foot slips under the moist soil, and he falls on his back. His opponent takes the chance and uses it to his advantage. Arthur takes many hits and starts to lose as his strength and consciousness begin to fade. Xena looks worried and orders to stop, but her words have no effect. Then Lord Batten orders the last man to stop. The man gets up, and Arthur takes a moment to stand on his feet.
I can keep fighting, Lord Batten. I'm not done yet.
I've seen enough. You are useless if dead. Save your strength. You would need it when we attack the south.
Batten offers to shake hands, and Arthur accepts it with gratitude.
Let's take back the south, King Arthur.
Yes, we will.
Xena steps inside the fence and throws herself into Arthur's arms. The men look at each other and smile.
Thank you, Lord Batten.
At your service, Your Highness.
Chapter 12. Arthur and Xena are relaxing inside a hot lake hidden in the forest.
Oh, look at you, all bruised from the fight. Does it hurt?
Nothing hurts right now when you are so close and naked.
Arthur pulls her body closer against his. Xena gasps softly. Her nipples are hard and her hand runs from his face to his chest. She feels the beating of his heart and bites her lips. She raises her eyes to look at his, and he stares back into hers. They kiss, and things escalate quickly. Arthur penetrates her, and she holds on to his strong neck while she moves up and down, matching her rhythm with his. They couldn't stop fucking ever since that first time. Arthur kisses her while she moans.
Fuck, your mouth tastes so good. And I love the shape of your lips. They turn me on so much.
Xena moans louder and her hips move faster. She loved it when he talked to her like that during sex. She kissed his neck and took a deep breath, breathing his scent. It made her head spin with pleasure every single time.
Fuck!
Arthur locked his arms tightly around her and fucked her hard until they both came. They sighed and took a moment to pace their breathing.
How are you feeling about the war with Timothy?
We will win, and then it will be Kenneth's turn.
You'll be the official king of the South, King Arthur.
And then I can probably marry you.
What?
A king needs his queen. And you are a princess, aren't you? So, marrying a king should be a good fit.
Are you proposing?
I am, but you will have to wait for a ring. Mercenaries don't get paid much, and I can find you something suitable as king after this war.
Don't you think you should ask me using better words?
Arthur takes a moment to clear his throat.
Will you, Princess Xena, marry me and do me the honor of being my wife?
I do. I'll marry you, King Arthur.
They kissed each other and made love again. Chapter 13. The war continued for 4 days before Timothy was captured and executed. Arthur was crowned by the church, the nobles, and the people of the South as the true king. A week later, Arthur and Xena were officially engaged in a public ceremony.
You didn't have to spend so much on the ring.
I didn't have to. I wanted to.
We could have used the money against the upcoming war with Kenneth.
We have enough, don't worry.
The truth was Arthur was concerned. Kenneth had sent him a warning, asking him to surrender in exchange for forgiveness after stealing his bride. Arthur had refused to surrender, and tensions were high in court. As per their spies, Kenneth was pouring every penny into his military. It was going to be the biggest battle in decades. Arthur felt guilty about taking his people to war so soon.
We buried thousands of men in the last battle, and families are still grieving. And I have no choice but to push them into the next one already.
I'm talking to the women and the children every day. I'll make sure they are fed and provided with work and an income. They are grateful for you.
They are?
Yes, your policies and rules are working. People are grateful they can eat better, and their children have a good leader to look after them.
Arthur forced a smile. He walked with a heavy weight on his shoulders.
The North needs a leader just like you. They will be grateful too, and I'll win them over if they don't like you at first.
Won't they like me even though their princess did?
Of course they will. Kenneth took the kingdom through betrayal. They will never accept him as their leader.
So, you mean I only look good because he's bad?
Isn't that always the case in every corner of this world?
Look at you. You have evolved from a shy princess to a clever queen.
All thanks to you, my dearest.
Thank me in the bedroom tonight.
Arthur left Xena to meet with the officials and nobles in the court to see the developments surrounding their preparations for the war. Chapter 14. Xena saw that the training ground was vacant and stepped inside while her guards and ladies-in-waiting stayed outside at her command. She picked up a wooden sword off the ground and started waving it around. Arthur was walking by when he saw her and couldn't resist.
What are you doing?
Training!
Have you done this before?
Sometimes when people weren't around me.
Do you want to train?
Yes, I believe I do. I should be able to protect myself if the need ever arises.
Then allow me to be your teacher for the day.
Arthur picks up a sword and steps inside the ring. Xena attacks him, but he blocks it easily.
You have good strength, but your stance needs some practice. Now strike me from the sides.
Arthur and Xena train for half an hour before Xena drops the sword and wipes the sweat off her brow.
I'm exhausted.
You did well.
You are just saying to make me feel good.
I'm not. There's a world of difference between your first strike and last.
Thanks to my teacher.
She kissed him, and he kissed her back. The ladies-in-waiting blushed at the display of their tender affection.
We leave tomorrow.
I've made all the arrangements.
I still think you should stay here.
No, I've decided that I'm coming. Any news about Father?
King Godwin is alive, but he's in prison. Finding his cell would be the real challenge.
Do you think we can get him out alive?
We will try. By the way, here, I want you to have this.
Arthur takes out a sheathed knife from his waistband and gives it to Xena.
What is this for?
I hope you never have to use it, but just in case.
Thank you.
It took them 25 days to reach the north. The Southern Army made a camp outside the walls. The camp was heavily guarded and multiple troops were on the lookout for enemy attacks. First night, Xena gets a summons to meet Arthur in his tent. She knew he was busy with constant discussions and strategies with the commanders and generals, so she wondered what this could be about. As she steps inside, her eyes go wide. Her father, King Godwin, was sitting on a chair in the center of the tent.
Hello, daughter.
Chapter 15.
Father.
Xena rushes forward and embraces her father with tears streaming down her face.
Oh, Father, I've missed you so much. I was so worried about you ever since that day we got attacked. How have you been? Are you all right? Have they harmed you?
I'm better now that I'm here, my child. Thanks to your husband, King Arthur.
Arthur steps forward and appears before Xena. He was watching from the corner but never interrupted their emotional meeting.
Thank you so much.
I'm glad you liked my surprise. A man like your father will be a great support in this war.
You want him to fight? He just got out of prison. Look how weak he is now.
Sweetheart, please listen. I have a feeling that he wants his revenge more than anybody.
You are damn right, son. I will kill Kenneth and make him pay for everything he's done to me and my kingdom.
But, Father, you can't fight like this. You need rest and recovery.
I will not be sleeping while we are at war. This is what I want. King Arthur understands me, and he has respected my wish to join this battle against Kenneth.
I don't want to lose you again.
You won't. Kenneth is going to regret setting foot on our land. You just watch me, dear.
I think I understand.
Thank you. Now I'll leave you two alone. I need to regain some strength for tomorrow.
Ask for anything you want.
Thank you, and I can't tell you how happy I am to see you two married. I look forward to learning more about you, King Arthur.
Call me Arthur, please.
Godwin hugs Xena, then leaves to eat and rest in his tent.
How did you do this?
I had sent a team on this mission before we left south. It would have been impossible to get him out if Kenneth knew we were on the way.
Oh, thank you, my dear. You cannot imagine how happy I am tonight.
I can see it in your sparkling eyes. It fills my heart to see you like this.
Can I join you tonight here?
I wouldn't let you go, even if you wanted to.
Xena places her hands behind his neck and kisses him. With a swift movement, Arthur picks her up in his arms and takes her to bed. Chapter 16. Kenneth was seen leading his army to the battlefield.
Come at me, you pathetic men of South. I'll show you today who the real king is.
The dawn broke reluctantly over the blood-stained plains of the north. A low mist clung to the earth, curling around boots, hooves, and a kingdom that was betrayed. Banners fluttered in the cold wind, golden lions of the south, now standing tall against the jagged black sigil of Kenneth, the usurper of the north. Arthur stood at the front of his army. 10,000 soldiers stretched behind him, disciplined, hardened, loyal. They had seen him bleed, fight, and rise when he had fought for the south. Now they would see him conquer. He rested his hand on the pommel of his sword, eyes fixed on the distant ridge where Kenneth's army, barely 2,500, waited. The old king's face bore the weight of betrayal, but his eyes were burning with something fierce. Behind the lines, Xena stood beside the war tent, her fingers clenched tightly around a strip of cloth, the same cloth she had once used to bandage Arthur's wounds when he was nothing more than a wandering blade. Now he was her husband, a king, and walking into war. He will win, Xena said quietly, though her voice trembled. Roderick, Godwin's cousin, studied her.
He must, but victory always asks for a price.
She met his gaze, steady now.
Then we will pay it together.
A horn shattered the silence. Arthur raised his sword.
For the South!
Arthur's voice roared across the plains.
And for the north.
10,000 voices answered. The earth trembled. Arthur charged. The first clash was chaos incarnate. Steel met steel with a scream that tore through the morning. Horses collided, shields splintered, and men fell beneath the crushing tide of numbers. Arthur cut through the front line like a storm given flesh, his blade precise, ruthless, efficient. A soldier lunged at him. Arthur sidestepped, drove his sword through the man's throat, and turned instantly, parrying another strike. He did not hesitate. This was not the reckless fury of a mercenary. This was command, control, purpose.
Push forward. Break their center.
Godwin fought nearby, slower but no less deadly. Every strike carried the weight of vengeance.
For my kingdom.
On the ridge, Kenneth watched. His armor gleamed dark as oil, his red cloak whipping behind him. His expression did not waver as his men were pushed back. Outnumbered, one of his captains muttered nervously.
We must retreat, my lord. Regroup.
Kenneth struck the man across the face.
Retreat? Do you think I took a kingdom by retreating?
My lord, they are 10,000.
And I am Kenneth.
He stepped forward, mounting his horse.
Hold the line, or die, proving you tried.
Then he rode down the ridge, straight into the storm. Arthur saw him. Even amidst the chaos, even through the blur of blood and steel, he saw him.
Kenneth?
The name left his lips like a curse. Kenneth carved a path toward him, his blade heavy and brutal, cutting men aside with savage force. The two armies seemed to bend around them. Destiny demanded it. Their swords met with a thunderous clash. Kenneth grinned.
So the mercenary became a king.
Arthur's eyes were cold.
And the coward became a tyrant.
Kenneth laughed, striking again, hard, relentless. Arthur parried, stepping back, then forward, countering with speed that forced Kenneth to adjust.
You should have stayed a blade for hire. Kings die, mercenaries survive.
Arthur locked blades with him.
I didn't fight for survival.
He shoved Kenneth back.
I fought for something worth dying for.
Kenneth's grin faded slightly.
Love. No, a promise.
They circled each other. Around them the battle raged, men screaming, steel ringing, the ground turning to mud beneath blood. Kenneth attacked again, wild, powerful strikes meant to overwhelm. Arthur adapted, redirecting force, conserving energy.
You're slower.
Kenneth snarled.
And you're sentimental.
He feinted, then drove forward with a brutal overhead strike. Arthur caught it, but the force drove him to one knee. Kenneth leaned in.
Tell me, would she scream your name if you won't return?
Arthur's eyes flashed. With a sudden twist, he broke the lock, rolled aside, and slashed Kenneth across the side. Blood darkened Kenneth's armor. For the first time, he faltered. On the hill, Xena saw it. Her breath caught.
Arthur?
Godwin cut his way closer, watching the duel.
End him, Arthur.
Kenneth staggered back, then laughed, a raw, broken sound.
Good. Good.
He charged again. This time, Arthur didn't retreat. Their blades clashed faster now, strike, parry, counter, step, like a deadly dance honed by years of war. But Arthur was different. Not just a warrior, a king, a man with something to protect. Kenneth swung wide. Arthur stepped inside the arc and drove his blade straight through Kenneth's chest. Silence seemed to fall just for a moment. Kenneth gasped, eyes wide, not with fear but disbelief.
No.
Arthur leaned closer.
You lost the moment you chose betrayal over honor.
Kenneth's lips curled faintly.
Honor doesn't win kingdoms.
Arthur pulled the blade free.
No, but it keeps them.
Kenneth fell. The battle ended not with a roar, but a collapse. Without their leader, Kenneth's men broke. Some fled, some surrendered, some fought to the death. But the war was over. Arthur stood amidst the aftermath, chest rising and falling, sword heavy in his hand. Godwin approached slowly.
It's done.
Arthur nodded.
It's over.
Godwin placed a hand on his shoulder.
You kept your promise.
Arthur's voice softened.
I intend to keep all of them.
Xena ran to him. No hesitation, no restraint. She reached him and threw her arms around him, holding him as if the world might still try to take him away. Arthur dropped his sword and held her just as tightly.
You won!
We did.
She pulled back, searching his face.
You could have died!
Arthur smiled faintly.
I had too much to live for.
Around them, the soldiers began to chant, "The King of the South! The King of the North!" But Arthur heard none of it. In that moment, there was only Xena, only the promise he made, only the life they had fought for. Godwin watched them, a quiet smile breaking through the scars of his past.
The kingdom is yours now.
Arthur glanced at him.
No.
You've proven that you are a worthy king, and I couldn't give you anything when you married my daughter, so please accept this now.
He looked at Xena.
I will make you proud.
You already have.
As the sun finally rose fully over the battlefield, it illuminated not just the end of a war, but the beginning of something stronger than power, stronger than vengeance, stronger than fear, love. And in that light, Arthur and Xena stood, not just as king and queen, but as two souls who had chosen each other against all odds, and won the end.